Welcome to Brenda's in spring. What? Oh, birds, get out of the greenhouse. Oh, the butterflies, forget-me-nots, I think. The primroses. Look at all these blossoms. Absolutely delightful. I've been away, guys. I've been away traveling. As you know, I was cycling all through France last week. My final day I was extremely proud of. I sort of felt like I was training on the go during the week and ended up doing a 115 mile. That is probably the hardest physical challenge I'll ever do. 8 AM to 8 PM, 12 hours. Over 6 days I did over 400 something miles. That's the end of my trip. These boys obviously carry on all the way to Morocco. It's done. It's done. It was only afterwards when I reflected on it, I realised I ended up punching a car because he cut me up, which I don't normally do. I nearly threw up twice, and I got to the top of this hill and the sun came out, I saw the sea and the rain came down, and I cried. And then I realised, yeah, that was quite an intense experience. So yeah, really cool. The guys are still on the road. Check out Louis' live videos. They're really cool. He's got that device on his head. They are doing so incredibly well on their way to Africa. We are now in the on season. As the seasons are changing, I think there is a lot of change happening with the project as well. I was still trying to gain clarity about what V2 means. Obviously we've been to Scotland, Spain, France, making progress on the brackets, making progress on the V2 handbook, and I guess I've just been reflecting for myself. Like, last year was a very unusual year where I was set in one location and didn't have anybody to think about, just go deep on my own journey. And I think for me what I've realized is my best skill really is in connecting things. It's not in the nodes, it's in the connection between the nodes. And last year was my year, my treat, my special place. But this year, to have a base, a place, and to try and be a connector, it's two different modes in one go. And I think for me to do my job well, philosophically, technologically, relationally, to really attend to the things that I think matter, I think I need to let go of my personal connection with one base. And that means thinking of this place as another node, like LaSalle, like Frascano, like Strathmashy, in this network of creative bases that we are generating. And so, although I hate to say it, and nothing's sorted yet, after a meeting with the estate the other day and some chats with Josh and some other bits and bobs, I've got a feeling that even though this place is so perfect, even though on paper it seems absolutely incredible, and it is a great gift that I've been offered this space in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and will never get offered a space like this again in my life. I can almost guarantee it. But I don't think it helps me to do the work I need to do, to be able to generate the connections in the network that I want to do. It's hard to get here. It's literally a bumpy road to get in here. It's got neighbours that aren't really supportive, shall we say, of this. Whereas last year we had no trouble at all. A little hut or two huts in a woodland, it sort of flies under the radar and it just does what it's set out to do. And so I'm thinking about, and we'll be looking, and we'll keep you guys posted about what it means to go back to the woods, basically, to go back to a simple space that means we can do get-togethers and events, we can experiment and think and be together, basically, but without having all the additional responsibility, shall we say, that comes with all of this, even though it is incredibly beautiful. And it's sad. It's sad for me for a few reasons. The big thing that I have to let go of in that is that I care a lot about housing and how we physically live as our primary residence. I care about that for me, I care about that for refugees, I care about thinking about that for people that can't afford mortgages right now, can't see how they're going to build their homes. Although I hope to be a part of that story, I don't think that I can do that in this project. I think what I need to do is focus on building the physical tools, the philosophical tools, the technological tools that help this network to connect and to flourish and be healthy together. And hopefully out of me doing that, specifically, ideas, collaborations, maybe even completely separate things that are a bit inspired by what we're doing will come out that will solve problems to do with housing. but it's a bit of a wrench for me to realise I don't think I'm going to be solving the problems of housing. I guess when I went to the woods, I was asking, how do we live then? In the world that we find ourselves in, how shall we live? And I guess in a way, instead of now in year 2 trying to give you answers to that question, I experienced it for myself, and now I'm trying to build the tools to help other people create the spaces to help them ask those questions further around the world and more deeply, rather than trying to provide the answers. So definitely a time of transition, of change. When I think about being really laser focused on just being a part of generating the connections between the nodes in the network, I feel lighter, I feel more productive, creative, excited. I feel like my relationship even here on this estate will work better, because ultimately if you want to build a node, you have to be there. And ultimately, I think Josh said I spent 7 nights in February here at Brenda's. It's just a different year for me, and I want to be a connector, not a node this year, and that's how I think I can play my part best in the social experiment. Oh, on a fun level, there's been some posts whilst I've been gone. Before we do all that, as you know, a few weeks ago I asked, when we were stuck in the mud, we came up with the idea of maybe we'd do some hut building workshops in different places, and would people be interested? The response has been really strong, so thank you. So that's what we're looking at doing through the summer. I just need to figure out exactly how we're going to arrange it. Looking on eBay, I found the absolute goals of huts. Obviously last year we were building a big 7.5 metre by 2.5 metre one. If you take away the porch, this is kind of just a 2.5, roughly a 2.5 metre cube, and I think that is going to be the basis of these hut pods that we're going to build. And you could always add the extension of the porch there as well, but it's got the waney edge on there, it's got a door, it's got enough space for a bed, a little desk, a little burner. That is the standard of what I want to make with these pods as we make them wherever we make them throughout the summer. I didn't want to have a goal like that for the first year, but now we're trying to support others. It's good to have some methods of best practice, I guess, now that we've learned something from buying the first one and building the second one. Right, let's get back to these packages. This was fabricated by Jack's Patch, who, if you remember, came and showed me about seeds and cooking on the open fire last year in V1. I'll put the link in the description. This is sort of like a heat rest for the chimney of the log burner in the hut, to make sure that it doesn't burn any of the glass that's around it. I've come to learn your seasons change. I've come to learn your seasons change. I know in memory it still feels the same. I've come to learn your seasons change. What is all of this? Oh, that looks cool. Oh my gosh. I have no idea who sent this. Wow, this is a full art kit. That is beautiful. Very, very cool. If this was you who sent this package of this beautiful art set, please do let me know. Please, if that was you, please let me know so I can thank you. I really appreciate that. Allen key. So I have been waiting for these for a while now. They've come from Italy. They're called Playwood, and basically they're tiny mini brackets that help you make wooden structures very, very quickly. So you get a little box of them, and then they kind of clamp the wood in. We'll have to play with them to figure it out, but it's a very similar contraption to what Josh and I have been trying to figure out with the big brackets. Oh, and I've got something to show you with the big brackets. I was thinking for internal furniture, yeah, with inside the hut, so we can carry on the same theme of having brackets. But they've already done this for us, and they made of a nice plastic.
Yeah, follow these guys on Instagram. They have some cool stuff.
Made in Italy. Make your own furniture. Now is your chance.
It's like IKEA with creativity.
Exactly. You're the designer. Easy assemble and disassemble. Find your inspiration and buy local materials. Support makers and reduce transport's environmental impact. This is basically the closest I've found to sort of what we're trying to do with the brackets. And I got to show you the new brackets. It's there. I can't save you from yourself. It looks like you're, because we're just trying to rapidly prototype them. are just brushed metal. Oh yeah, so the 2x4 actually slides in this time.
And I screwed it in.
You screwed it in, so it's a bit, okay, so there's a bit of space, a bit too much space, one might argue.
But does not move.
So once it's screwed in, it's happy. But okay, it's nice to see them finally go in. The screws have gone in. It's almost like Red Riding Hood with the bears in the porridge in the forest. The first ones were a bit too small. These ones are a little bit too big. But it's much more acceptable for them to be this way because we can actually build a hut like this.
Yeah, well, we can pad out the gap.
Yeah.
So it's needed.
When you're using reused materials, they vary dramatically. I even saw a little image, which I'll try and slide in, of 2x4s from 100 years ago to now. Whether they're treated, whether they're round edge, they're all a bit different. So it's nice to have a bit of an edge. We can always, as you say, slide a little thing in there. You can't make a hut if the wood won't go in at all. They will be galvanized steel. Galvanized basically means it will be protected so it doesn't rust like it looks like it already is beginning to. The guys have done a good job. They dropped them off yesterday. So we're going to try and put an order in of these for the first hut building workshop, which is not too long away, is it? It's like 6-8 weeks away.
Yeah, not long.
But we might have to do a slightly amended first hut building workshop because the time seems to be running away from us. Again, going back to the network thing, we've been very focused on trying to get this tool available. But yeah, this is good, isn't it?
I like it.
Good work.
No, say it again. This is the end of the
Check this out. Look at, I knew it would be good because look at the wrapping paper. Porque vado, o porque vado. There we go. Wow, this is like Christmas. Wow, that is some serious packaging. To Dave, it has been a pleasure working with you these past few weeks. I hope you love the One With Nature collection as much as I do, and your viewers love it too. All of these products will be available on my Etsy shop at etsy.com/shop/graphics on Alex, with 15% of sales going to the Corcovado project. Boom. Products include 2 prints, 2 cards, 1 pack of 8 postcards. The prints will be available to download on the Corcovado site too. Basically, we're going to sell the designs for pay what you want, as all the Corcovado projects are, to download from Corcovado, Corcovado. But if you want to buy the physical products, you can go to his Etsy shop and he will distribute and deliver those to you and charge you for them. But if you just want the digital thing and you want to make it yourself, then you can go on our website and get it. But look at this, he's gone all out. Yes. If you look in the background, contentment, process, invitation to be intentional, these are the 300 words that you guys said as we went around the country after you watched the Corcovado film. So all the stuff that was talked about, that we listened to, that we wrote on the whiteboards. Yeah, find the flow. So these are all postcards, and then we got some gift cards as well. Very, very, very cool, man. It's I'd forgotten how encouraging it is to see some of the stuff and ideas you're working with get manifest in the physical as well.
No, I can't set you free.
So these are from GearBest. What have you got there?
A scratch map.
Oh, I see. So we can start to scratch off all the places where we got Corcovado spots. Okay, we'll get that on the wall.
It's very nice.
Very cool. It is nice to have some new tools, some toys, some things to play with, and also it's nice to feel that the work we've done last year is developing. I feel like in all this stuff we've received today, there's a lot of food for thought. The final thing in this whole unboxing, unwrapping, unraveling is a friend of mine called Sam is coming in a bit, and he runs a company called The People's Operator. It's a phone network, and I'll let him explain more when he gets here. We've been thinking a lot about on and off-grid living, how we deal with our relationship with technology, how we do that journey well, and he is the best person I found to really talk to about this and go on a journey about what it means to have a phone that is ethical and to engage with our phone ethically. So I'll let him explain more when he comes. Whew, that was intense. I've got to go pick Sam up and then I'll be back. Oh. The bluebells are back again. They are intense. Not intense. Oh, look at that bird. Look at that killer bird. There he goes, there he goes. Wow. Oh, my neighbour, the woodland. Soon we will live together once again. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about getting back into the woods. That's where I belong. I may not live there the whole time, but when I am having a Corcovado moment, It needs to be in it, not next to it.
I can't set you free, no, I can't set you free.
Stick in the old comments below if you guys would like to receive one of these Find the Flow postcards. I'll send 2 or 3 out.
I'm not what you need and what you need from me. I cannot.
Trying to think well about an on and off grid lifestyle means thinking well about what we do with our phones. Is it ethical? Do we like how it works? And for me, although I haven't been that happy using iPhone for a long time, and I've been on the O2 network for a long time, and I haven't really enjoyed that either. I haven't really felt like there's an alternative that I could use that makes me feel that it aligns with my values. But thankfully, that's when Sam got in contact. Why don't you explain to everybody what it is that you do?
Sure. So I work for a company called TPO. We are a mobile network, and we give 10% of your bill back to a cause or charity of your choice, essentially, on a rolling monthly contract. So it's the same as you would get from any other network.
And is it your network? Do you provide the antennas and all that?
We're kind of a light network, and we use 3 as our host network.
Okay, so a bit like giffgaff or something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever you spend on your mobile bill each month, 10% of it goes towards the cause that you say that you care about. So if you spend 20 quid, 2 quid of it will go to a charity. Explain to me, if you will, Sam, what it is about you guys that makes you different to other phone companies.
We were founded purely on the values of being able to support charities and causes. So everybody in the business is passionate about supporting the type of charities and causes, especially more the grassroots ones, that are vital to help stitch society together where government might be absent. Smaller and grassroots charities can do with all the support they can get. I think there's a growing ecosystem of companies that are forming to be able to do just this. I mean, TPO is one of many. There's other companies like Pennies, for example, Tom Shoes, for example, that are looking to give back as well as the way you consume of everyday products.
And is it working? Like, a charity's actually getting money?
Sure, yes. So we've accumulated over £400,000 so far.
Wow.
We've just given Cancer Research a cheque for £32,000 in the last month, which enabled them to, buy loads of high-tech camera equipment to help with the cancer diagnosis process.
So that is 32 grand going to Cancer Research just simply because, and tell me if I'm wrong here, but people just moving to be on your network, that means 10% of their existing bill goes to a charity. It's not more money out of their pocket.
Absolutely, yeah. So people don't pay any more money to be on TPO. Building communities of people that support particular charities to be able to really grow that into something meaningful that really makes a material difference to those causes.
But the thing we've been talking about, and what I'm quite excited about, is trying to group people together. So I'm going to move over to the People's Operator, and you got the SIM for me today, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've also brought me
Fairphone.
a Fairphone. Can I give you this whilst
Sure.
I open it up? I don't know if you think this is fair, Sam, but I don't think I've seen much innovation in phones and phone operators other than the major ones that we know about.
I think from a device perspective, then obviously your Apples and Samsung lead the market at the moment, so it's quite unusual for a different kind of entrant to come into the market like that as well.
But this phone is quite different, all from the ground up, isn't it? It's from Holland, isn't it?
Yep, so Fairphone is based in the Netherlands. They've researched their supply chains to make sure that it's as fair as possible, and also all the materials are conflict free in terms of the materials that build up the phone.
Ooh! Oh, sorry, mate. I'm going to have to stop you there. That looks wicked. So, well, you were saying it's modular, so it's built up from various different components.
Yeah, so if one component breaks, it doesn't mean you have to get rid of the whole device. It just means you can get the new component, and therefore the device itself lasts much longer from that perspective.
So look, the key with the iPhone is, if something breaks, there's nothing I can do about it. I need to get a new one, or I need to send it off to a specialist. The idea with a modular phone is that not only can you see everything that's going on inside, but a bit like old school phones, the battery comes out, I think. Here we go. Yeah, the battery comes out. And if it dies, I can replace it. If the screen breaks, undo the blue clips and then slide, the screen just comes straight off and you're left with the insides of the phone, which I haven't seen since I was a teenager, basically, because since then it's been a little black box. It does kind of represent what I was just saying about the ethics of phones and stuff, is like, it's been a bit of a black box. You can't really get into it without worrying that you're going to lose the whole thing. But this is opening it back up and allowing us to get inside, to understand it. A bit like the Raspberry Pi did for computing. This feels a bit like the equivalent of on the phone version. So I could replace that screen myself without having to go to a specialist. Now I get the old cover.
Yeah. Yours to open, yours to keep.
That's cool. Let's slide it like that. The mind and the body are connected. I'm going to be out with this one. I'm going to be in with this one. TPO mobile operator on the Fairphone. This is basically the first step for me in trying to enter this ethical journey of questioning what I'm doing with the stuff I use every day, in this case my phone. Once you get the ball rolling and you get a bit of momentum, then it's easier to take the steps after that. I'm going to do a bit of an experiment with Sam, which is, and we've been talking about it for a couple of months now, which is, I think it's cool that 10% of the bill can go to a charity, but my £5 and your £2 on its own can feel a little bit like a drop in the ocean. But what I've asked for, and hopefully, fingers crossed, you're going to be able to do it, is that if you sign up for TPO, you can, instead of choosing a charity directly, you could choose Corcovado. And then we as a group can decide where our monthly contribution goes to. So that instead of like £1 here and £3 there going to random causes, if we do it all together, we can decide together and then have good checks going to the charities that we decide. And also it'll be a bit of an exercise for us in figuring out how do we want to democratically choose where that £50 or that £100 or that £300 actually goes each month. And each month, you know, we will talk about where we're going to put it, and hopefully get some feedback from the charities once they receive it as well. Is that something we can actually do, Sam, technically today on Thursday night when this vlog is going out? Is that something that people will be able to do?
Absolutely, I can guarantee it, yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, if you want to start this journey together with me, then when you go over to the TPO website, select Corcovado from the list of charities, and then you'll be in the pool, and together we'll collectively give, whether it's 2 or 3 of us, or 20 or 30 of us, or 200 or 300 of us, we will collectively decide where that money is going to go each month. And I think it will be a really fun thing to do, and we might find other ways that we can engage with that charity on top. They might send us some feedback. I don't know, we'll see where the journey goes, but I think that'll be a really nice thing to do together. It means every month we can come back and talk about it and think about who next to support. The journey we're on now with Corcovado is really about asking these big questions about life. And so I think the thing that excites me most about our relationship is being able to talk with you and consistently collaborate, hopefully, with thinking about how do we do the next steps on this ethical journey better. Frankly, you're the only person that I have found in the whole sector that actually wants to have this conversation and actually wants to build a brand around this as well. So firstly, respect to you, mate.
Keith.
And thanks for coming down, man.
I've really appreciated it. It's been a great day. Question for all of us as individuals to ask, is the companies and products and services I'm using the best to suit my independent values, so to speak? And also taking the effort to make what I want to do possible on your platform. You know, that is innovation, isn't it? We're working together to do that, yeah? Yeah, I mean, you know, we're really excited to see what happens. I think, you know, communities coming together to make a material difference through supporting causes and charities is really what drives what we're trying to do and engage with as well. So I think it's really exciting times and looking forward to the journey ahead. Awesome, man. Guys, next week I will hopefully have some more specifics on the hut,
hut building, continuing developing this networking journey. Obviously there's a lot of change. If you've got any questions about what on earth is going on, please stick them in below. I'm happy to do a Q&A soon. But I'm getting the energy back. Obviously spring helps a lot, doesn't it? But I'm really feeling getting back to this idea of being a network and getting back into the woodland, not being a neighbour of the woodland, but getting right back in there. Feels extremely exciting. So thank you for being on the journey so far and for coming with me over the first few months of this year, whilst it's been challenging to find, I guess, my identity and the Corco identity in amongst all the change, with sort of realising what I really love in the network and being, well, in the best network of all really, in the woods. It feels good again. So I will see you guys next Thursday, 9 PM. Take care of yourselves and look after each other.